Hi, and welcome to a quick recipe from Howcookingworks.com. Today, we're going to cook Japanese curry. Japanese curry is really easy to make and usually be done from start to finish in about 30 minutes. So let's go over the overview. First, we need to know what tools we're going to use. Secondly, we need to know what our recipe is. And our recipe is going to be split up into ingredients, preparation, heat, and analysis. Lastly, we're going to execute our recipe. So for the tools, we only have 3 today. Fairly simple. We're going to need a cutting board, a chef knife, 10 or 12 inches okay, doesn't really matter, and a saucepan. So make sure your saucepan has a lid. So for our ingredients, we're going to deviate a little bit from the traditional Japanese curry, no carrots or no potatoes. Instead, we're going to use oil. So for this oil, it can be olive, vegetable, or corn, doesn't really matter. Curry blocks. So basically what this is this box contains blocks, and this is available at your Asian or American market. If you open it, it contains curry blocks inside, or curry roux. So taking a closer look here, here's a block, and we're going to be using this in our recipe. Thing here is to keep in mind is you want to see if it's split into 4 at the bottom or 6 at the bottom, because it's going to affect how we're going to use our proportions in this recipe. Next thing is we're going to use an onion, and we're probably going to only use half an onion today. We're going to use tofu. So this is firm tofu, and when you buy tofu, make sure it's firm tofu, not soft tofu. This is available at your American or Asian markets. The thing here is we are substituting chicken and beef for tofu because we don't have to worry about making sure it's cooked enough or worrying if the chicken or beef is overcooked. If you use tofu, it can stand a lot of heat and it's not going to overcook. That's what's nice about using it. Next, we're going to have 2 cups of water. And we're going to have pickled ginger. Pickled ginger is a nice little aftertaste to give it contrast to the spices. And this is available at your Asian market. If you can't find it, it's okay. You can make it without it. So for our preparation, we're going to loosely dice the onion. We're going to drain the tofu, cut it into cubes. And that's it. 2 steps of preparation. For the heat, there are 2 techniques we're going to be using today. Stir frying and boiling and simmering. So in stir frying, what's going to happen is we're going to cook the onions and it's going to caramelize. Basically what that means is it's going to start to brown, and when it starts to brown, it's going to start smelling really nice and creates flavor out of that. When we add the water, we bring it to a boil, then we're going to drop it down to a simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. So for the analysis of curry, you want the texture to be slightly thick and not watery. The next thing is you want it to be just salty enough. What we want to talk about a little bit is the X taste factor. Sometimes when you have the 5 basic tastes, it doesn't have enough description of why it tastes good. So I would say why curry tastes good involves a spice combination. Because when you look at this curry block here, right, you're like, what's actually in this block? So according to this website that I've seen, most likely what the curry block contains is turmeric, coriander, cumin, this is already ground up, black pepper, cayenne pepper, cloves, fennel, and cardamom. So think about it. If you're going to cook this all by yourself, you have to take each one of these ingredients, you have to grind it up, you have to put it together. But the nice thing about a curry block is it's already done. It's already here for you. So with that said, let's do some preparation. So the preparation here, what we have is a medium onion. We've already removed the skin. What we want to do is we want to chop into quarters. So this is actually fairly easy. That's about it right there. And today, since it's a medium onion, we use the entire thing. I like onions. If you're not a big onion fan, use half. So next thing here is we have firm tofu. What you have to do first is drain the liquid out of it. I find an entire tofu package too much, so just using half is good. So what you can do is just cut it in half and then cut this into cubes. Like so. And that's about it. So what we have here, this is your meat substitute and this is your starter for the curry. So let's go to the oven. So what we have here is a medium saucepan on like medium-high heat. Well, first what we want to do is do the water test. So basically you want to get some drops of water, sprinkle it and see if it goes away real fast. So this one's already ready. All we're going to do is we're going to add some olive oil. So you're going to let that heat up slightly. So remember the first thing is we have those onions and we have, you're going to need like a little bamboo spatula. So, or bamboo spoon. What we're going to do is get the onions and just go ahead and just toss it in there. It might splatter a little bit, don't worry about that. The thing here is you don't want the heat really high. That's something you want to try to avoid. As you cook, the onions are going to begin breaking up. And you want to cook this for about 5 minutes. So what you want to do is you want to cook over medium heat where it begins to break down and you can begin smelling the onion. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now, and what we want to do is we're going to add the water. And when you add the water, then you're going to add your curry block. So there's a slight correction to what I said before. What you want to do basically is you have this container, right? You want to add half the container, whether you have 6 or you have 3. So 2 blocks. Now at that time, you want to get your tofu and you want to just add it in. So bring it up to a boil. Okay, now it's coming to a boil. What you want to do with your wooden spoon is you want to sort of stir it around. The curry block hasn't fully melted. And you want to drop the temperature into low to like medium low. And then you want to cap it. That's it. So keep it to low and wait 15 minutes. So it's been about 15 minutes and what it is, turn off the heat. What you want to do is you want to take it off the heat so it can thicken a little bit. There may be some curry like roux block still there, so you just want to stir around and just make sure you get all of them. So you want to wait about 5 minutes, let it cool a little bit, but this is where you need to use your brain. Okay, so when you cook a curry, it can turn out many ways. It can turn out under-flavored or over-flavored, let's just put it that way. So what you want to do is get like a small spoon and be careful, it's really hot. And you want to taste it, okay? A couple things you should be thinking of. If you taste it and it tastes like there's still no flavor, go break small pieces of curry blocks and add them in. Not the entire thing, but break it, maybe break a small portion, and keep adding it until you get that flavor you want. The flavor of curry you want is, it should, when you taste it, it should be salty enough and the spices should be just right. Now, if it's too salty or it's just too much flavor there, then what's nice is you can just add water to compensate. So you have to think about it. You have to taste it and you have to say, does this taste good to me, right? And you have to think of 2 things. Is it under flavored or is it over flavored? So again, when I'm tasting this now, this is just about right. I think you could use a little bit more salt, so I have some kosher salt here. I'm just going to sprinkle it in. But see, remember, when you cook recipes, when you follow it, that's great, but when the recipe is done, you have to use your brain to see how to compensate for the flavor composition. So remember, flavor composition of curry should be just spicy and salty enough. If not, then add some little blocks. If you've added too many blocks for whatever reason, add more water. So let it sit for 5 minutes, take it off the heat, and prepare your rice or your bread, whatever you want to eat it with. It's been about 5 minutes, we let the curry cool down. So what we have here is jasmine rice and we have some ginger. So what we're going to do our plating is you can just put the curry on the side, like so. So there you have it, Japanese curry. Bon appetit.